Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
There she is. Welcome, welcome.
For having me. Sorry,
Of
my Wi-Fi
course.
is spotty down here. I live in a basement, so it always takes a minute for this
Oh
stuff to work
yeah.
for me.
That's all right. I was gonna ask, are we in your spot in LA right now?
Yes. Yes, we are. It's technically my boyfriend's spot. I was planning on moving after our whole tour that we had set for the year, so all my stuff is in storage, so I'm like kind of homeless at the moment, but
I did want to get started by asking, I mean, we're in that space in LA. How has your last I the last time we did one of these virtual big rooms, I said, how have your last couple of weeks and months been? But now it's been like 6 months.
yeah.
How have you been in this odd climate? Because
Um,
because I can't
I've
just
been
jump in
generous.
and be like, how are you? Good, you know?
No, no, no. No, it's nice that we're all sensitive to the question of like, how are you? Because I know we're all like not doing great. Roller coaster. Some days I'm like, oh, I haven't cried today, and some days I'm like, I haven't done anything but cry. So taking the good days when they come and appreciating them, but also knowing like that it's just natural to be struggling right now for personal reasons, for the isolate, for everything that's happening in the world right now. It's a lot to take in, and so I just try to take it one step at a time.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes it seems like just getting out of bed and facing the day is the biggest accomplishment that you could ask
Oh,
for.
for
No, I feel that. Have you gotten into any new and weird hobbies? I feel like everybody's got their quarantine thing, which has started. Also, is that a cat in the frame?
that is sorry. He loves the camera. He was trying to
Oh,
knock over my phone. That's yeah, that's my hobby. I got foster kittens that I for sure now own. That has been my hobby. They've been my pride and joy through dark times.
yeah. I just got a I just got a cat myself that looks almost identical to that cat.
Oh,
So it's like,
it's
yeah,
amazing.
it's like a cat.
Did you start off like fostering, or you just were like full on in adoption mode?
I was just full on adoption mode. I knew I wanted a cat. I just moved into the first apartment that let me have a cat, and I said, okay, now it's time to get a cat. So,
Exciting, very fun. Yeah, I'm always on tours. I'm like I can't have pets, but because I was like I'm not gonna tour for I don't know how many years at this point. I was like, well,
right,
I guess
yeah,
it'll give me enough time to figure that out as to
yeah.
what to do. What have my hobbies been? I guess I've been. It's not weird, but I've just been like trying to learn guitar. I guess it is weird because I cut off two of my fingers that are very crucial for chords. So
Mhm.
I've like I can't ever play guitar, but because we have unlimited time, I was like, this is a good time to just like, break in my fingers and get kind of decent at guitar. And Ableton, I've been trying, everything is like from home now. So I was like, I gotta learn how to produce stuff well, since I'm not gonna be able to like be with the band for I don't know how long. So that stuff has been good and just like growing as a musician. But yeah, no other, what other hobbies? I craft a lot. I'm like grandma.
Ooh.
I'm a full on grandma at this point. But
That's amazing. I did notice, I saw on your Instagram that you've been traveling a little bit too safely. I should throw that disclaimer in.
on.
Well, I a lot of people are commenting on this Instagram post. Will you tell us where this is? Because
Yes, that's.
are you looking, can you see this at home? Oh my goodness.
It just looks like a lot of blue, but I'm assuming that's mammoths. Um,
Mammoth. All
Northern
right.
California, yeah, we did a day trip. It's actually a 5 hour drive from where we are. But my sister was in town, and I felt so bad that, like, you can't go do anything. Like, I'm not at the point of feeling comfortable, like, going out to eat or anything like that. So I felt really bad that we hadn't done anything, like, spectacular. So we did a day trip of driving. The drive was 5 hours, and we did all that in a day. And we did, like, a 10-mile hike, and it was so incredible. But I think I'm still sore from that hike.
I would believe it. It's a shame that it's so far away
Yeah.
from Columbus, Ohio. So I can't get out there, but maybe one of these days. But it does seem like you're getting the relaxing the trips, and I saw also some charcuterie picnic boards in, and it seems like some good relaxation coming off of the release of a new record that you've been working on for a really long time. Super Bloom, the name of the release that's out now, just over a month old. I think it's a month and a day old as of today. So happy birthday to that record and congratulations. Oh, I guess a happy 1 month anniversary to the record. I guess it's not its
Yeah.
birthday, but
I'll be like one of those moms that pictures of their infants like every month. I'm gonna do that for the That's,
That
my
would be
music.
great. Oh, but yeah, it's a massive record, and in a lot of senses of the term, that you could use that to describe it. But to get into talking about the record, we have to kind of start with the heavy bass for it, and we don't have to get like too in depth in chatting about it. But I feel like I must mention the kind of the backstory to the record because it's so unique and powerful. It's a, a breakup album. It seems you've left a relationship for a very long time with ATN, who plays drums in MisterWives, and MisterWives stays together and puts out another record, which is something I don't think I've ever seen before.
Yeah, we're the most, I don't think, everybody looks at us like we're crazy, but we're obviously still friends. He's in here. Hey, ATN.
Yeah,
Spill the
it's
tea. Um, what were you saying? I lost you. You were
um,
talking about heavy things, and then it cut out, and I think that was the universe being like, nah, not today.
yeah, we're laughing over some incredibly dark times. I mean, honestly, that's a message that you could take from the record too, though, is not to make such a serious segue, but a lot of the record is about learning and being sort of productive and learning a lot about yourself through a very heavy, dark period of your life like that. And I think that's very inspiring. I heard you worked with some co-writers on this thing. Is that true?
Yeah, a bunch. I never have done co-writes, but I think I was struggling and going through such a difficult time that I was like, I have to shake things up and like force myself out of bed to like get to a session. And it wound up being amazing because I was very selective of like the people I worked with and was such a big fan of people like K-Flay and Sir Sly and Tim Pignata and all these like incredible artists, musicians, producers. So it was really fun that I got to do it. Like I wasn't going into the room with strangers. There were people that I was either a fan of or friends with already, and it just allowed me to take comfort also in like while I was sharing my story that so many other people saw themselves in what we were writing and what I was experiencing and not being afraid of my truth because I was. Me and Nate kept it pretty, I don't want to say secretive, but we didn't let people know for a long time what we were going through because we were figuring it out for ourselves first. So it was a scary first step of like taking ownership and being honest in this uncomfortable truth that actually allowed me to get comfortable with like this new chapter of my life. But yeah, it's not easy losing yourself, but it allowed me to find myself through all of this. And I think that it's, as much as I hate what we're all experiencing right now, I'm happy that I could offer up this album as something that takes on a bigger meaning than just like my personal strife and things with my relation and my personal struggle, that it now is like this collective, like we're all really going through a difficult time, and knowing that like you will make it to the other side when it feels impossible, when it feels like there's no light at the end of the tunnel, like so I feel thankful for that, but I'm also very sad that we're all experiencing such a trying time together. But you gotta always rely on the music to bring hope and to like hold on to that light when it feels like there's none left. So I'm thankful I've always had that outlet, because without it, who knows if I'd be here.
Right, yeah. And judging by just the comments and the hearts showing up in this stream, it seems like it's provided a lot of inspiration to a lot of people. Um, and that's awesome. But you mentioned making it to the other side of things, and I read that that came to be the sort of motif for the record after you visited a poppy field. Was that the moment that you knew?
Yeah. At this point in the record, like before I went to the SUPERBLOOM, I was just writing, and I wasn't like, okay, this is the vision or this is what we're going through. I was like, I'm just writing for survival right now. And I was having a really tough time out here in LA. And my sister actually flew out here, the one I Mammoth. She's like my anchor in life, and we decided to go on. The SUPERBLOOM was happening, and all it's like this, botanical phenomenon of all these poppies bloom in the desert, and they're not supposed to because of this like exponential amount of rain. And I just got there, and I didn't expect it to move me the way it did, but it felt like such an accurate representation of like what I was going through. Like even the dry, broken desert, like something beautiful can grow through it and persevere and be resilient and like break to the ground as like the other side. And sorry, my cat is really wants to at you. Yeah, so the second I got there, it was a very emotional, enlightening experience, and I just like knew that day the album was going to be SUPERBLOOM, and then the gears started going of, you know, all the visuals and everything that was represented in the music and bringing that to life. And so, yeah, kept me busy and still is keeping me busy, but it's, I'm just so happy. Something like that, something so small that you don't think it's going to like change your life does, and just brings hope and, you know, created the force for this album.
Yeah, that's a beautiful poetic observation. Now I'm just reading off my notes. I should have used a bigger font.
You're prepared.
Oh, it's the fact that you worked on it for 3 years. Like, that's a long time to work on an album. And it must. Well, I don't know. I'm not on your side of things, but it feels like a long time to be embedded within this hour of music. How does it feel just on a base level to just have it out there now? Because that must be
so good, so good. I was really losing sleep about putting the album out because it lived with me for so long that then this next step was to like, you had to rip it off like a Band-Aid and put it out in the world. To like, that was another stage of like healing for me, you know, of like, okay, I've written all this stuff, I have all this that I've been able to be honest and vocal about, and now it's really scary to share something so personal with, you know, amazing people that have supported us, but also it's like very different from anything we've done lyrically and musically. Like, it was just a lot. And so then obviously COVID hit, and there was talks of like, we kept pushing the album back, and I was like, and people saying like, let's wait until things go back to normal, whatever normal is. And I was like, oh no, like I just mentally got to the point of being like, okay, let's do it. And then it was like, oh no, let's pause and wait. And I was like, we have to put this out now. I'm sure by the end of this pandemic, I'm sure I'll have a new body of music that will like have 2 records coming out of this pandemic with. So I just was like, this feels so crazy. I don't want to put this out when these feelings aren't like as relevant to my life. And also seeing what was happening, I was like, I know that this hopefully will help anybody, because it's all about the journey and super blooming, and like that's what we need right now.
Yeah, in a sense, it's the perfect time to put it out right now. You're right.
Sure. Mine is not for the album, but I'm thankful for people like you who want to talk to me about the record and for supporting us. Like, it's a very tricky climate trying to figure out how to promote an album when you can't go do what we've always done, you know? But we're working on it, guys.
Yeah. Okay. I was going to ask, what are the next steps? You don't need to reveal any industry secrets that we're not supposed to know, but you did say that you're thinking about working on a couple of records maybe down the line while you're still based at home.
Yeah. First and foremost, yeah, I wrote a treatment yesterday for I don't even want to call it a live stream concert, but we're working on something that's really special, because I had all these like big hopes and dreams for the record of doing a like interactive installation for people to listen to the record in the 3 parts and these different built out sets and all this. And so I'm trying to merge the two so that people can experience the album in a like not physical but a virtual way in which we intended. So I finished that treatment yesterday, and we're getting things in motion, and I'm going back home to New York to like be with the guys. My sister's getting married, but I also was like, I'm gonna go home for a substantial amount of time so that we can like play these songs together live and make, you know, I don't want to say content, but visuals out of it. And yeah, and I don't know what happens after that, but that's what I have at the forefront of my mind right now.
Yeah. Well, whatever it is, we're really looking forward to it. And even, I mean, I really enjoyed the content that came out, the quarantine version with Ghost Funk Orchestra for Rock Bottom that came out not that long ago. That was really cool. I really like. It's inspiring me to like maybe go home and make a drum kit out of some frozen peas and a White Claw.
Yeah, ATN is the queen of like making drum kits out of things that shouldn't be drum. Still making it sound good. I don't know.
That's good. I forgot I've got a drum kit behind me, but I prefer the frozen peas.
You don't need peas. You have it all set up for you.
All right. Well, we're looking forward to whatever you have in the future, and relishing in this new album, Super Bloom, which is out now. Again, I would encourage everybody to listen to it that's here watching it, but it seems like everyone here has already done so quite a few times. Continue to listen to it. You don't need me to tell you to do that. But if you haven't done so, check it out. We just added 3 small words today. I don't know if we actually announced that, but
That's
on the radio.
That is so awesome. Thank you, truly. Like, we've never really gotten all the, it's been rare to have support from radio, and you guys have been so gracious to us. So it's, I'm happy that this album gets to get any bit of support in that way. It really means everything.
And I'll be happy to play it every time. I do want to let you get back to it. I know you're keeping yourself busy, but one last thing before we do cut you loose.
Yes.
I always like to run everybody through a quick lightning round here at the end. Some rapid fire questions
I'm
to try.
so bad at these. I'm the most person, so I can never make a decision. But
Well, the first couple are pretty easy. This is a softball because we already know the answer. Dogs or cats?
I guess cats, but really both.
Oh, okay.
For everything.
I was presumptuous.
But cats because of my children, yes.
Okay. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Do you have a professional florist, or are you just on a first name basis with the local florist store, the flower store?
I'd like to think of myself as the florist. I just steal all the wildflowers. California is like the most beautiful flora everywhere, so I just go and pick all my flowers from the neighborhood. But yeah, I don't know. Florists are closed right now. I've not been able to.
Oh, yeah.
East Olivia is an amazing florist. She is killer.
Nice. Shouts out.
Yeah.
Next one. What is your favorite kind of wine?
SUPERBLOOM wine. I got sent this family. Yeah, SUPERBLOOM is the best wine and has a rainbow label. And I'm like, wow, did we make a wine? And I didn't realize it.
Yeah, that sounds very specifically on brand. All right. What is the prettiest American state in terms of geographical outline alone? What has the best shape, in your opinion?
Hey, New York.
New York. That's a good one.
Just because New York, but it's not that pretty of shape.
I'm trying to work on a map, and then every artist gets a little spot on the map. So one of these days it'll come to fruition. All right, this is a segment that I like to call reviewing old tweets, where we go really far back on your timeline and pull out some tweets and see if anything has changed.
My connection is lost.
Oh no. I'm going through a tunnel. But don't worry, not as scary as it sounds. For this one, we go back 8 years, April 23rd, 2012. Orangina over any other carbonated drink. Do you still hold that to be true, or have you found a new carbonated drink?
I tweeted this?
You did. 8 years ago.
Oh, I gotta delete my Twitter. Over any carbonated drink. You think so? Yeah. You know what? I fuck with Orangina still.
I think so too. I agree.
Later, that's like a treat yourself carbonated drink.
It is, yeah. That's like a trip to the Whole Foods, pick up an Orangina. Just a few days prior to that tweet in 2012, you said, writing a song on the xylophone and accordion. Sorry, neighbors. I didn't notice any accordion on SUPERBLOOM. Do you still play?
Well, Eight's dad had an accordion, so I would always play it. It's not something I ever play. Jesse is nasty with both xylophone and accordion, but if one was in front of me, sure, I'd pick it up. But yeah, there's no accordion on SUPERBLOOM. But yeah, on the last records, I don't know why we always tried to sneak accordion on everything. Yeah.
Maybe we could cross our fingers for a Saint Motel sort of mariachi edition to some of the songs.
Yes.
Just saying.
Yeah, no, that's
All right, one more old tweet back to 2011. Reading Bossy Pants in public is a bad idea considering I'm laughing out loud by myself. Tina Fey, marry me? In the 9 years of your band's success since then, have you met Tina Fey?
Sadly, no. But I did meet her BFF, Amy Poehler, at a dance class, and I made her laugh, and that was I've peaked at. I think I tweeted about that experience as well.
Well, there we go. You can't top that.
To Tina Fey, they're they feel like.
All right, one last One last question. It's the one that I like to ask everybody that comes through the big room in person or otherwise. If you had to, would you rather fight one horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses? I know you're very kind to the animals, but if
I don't
you
want to fight
must.
any people. I wouldn't fight him. I'd just wind up like kicking it with all the ducks. The 100 ducks sounds really fun to me. And the horse-sized duck sounds kind of terrifying. But maybe not. Maybe
Yeah.
it'd be like a unicorn. It's like the new unicorn, you know? I don't know.
Oh.
I definitely wouldn't fight them. I'm sorry. I told you I'm terrible at this game because I don't.
No, it's it's a creative response. It's fun.
What would you like to do? What would you rather do?
So Matty Healy really changed my mind about this. I asked him the question and he said,
Wow.
the things that he fears the most, and I think this is close to a quote, on a duck are the beak and the quack.
Beak and quack.
And if you scale those up from a duck to the size of the horse, the quack is in what he calls ship horn territory.
Ship horn territory.
Your eardrums are going to just be blown with one quack. So
That's true. Yeah, that is true. But mini horses sound pretty awesome. I don't know.
that's true. You'd be
But
kicking it with the mini horses. Barnes Courtney said he'd be saddling up the large duck.
I'd be riding that horse-sized duck around.
Ooh, riding it around town.
these are harder to answer than like the doom and gloom that exists in Super Bloom.
Right.
Stumps me. Not like tell us about all of your pain. It's like
Here we go. Yeah. Well, I'll send you off on that one. Thank you so much for coming to hang out with us for a few minutes today. Everybody check out that new record, Super Bloom, if you haven't already. And I'm looking forward to seeing you when all of this is over, perhaps, eventually.
I know. I really hope so. But thank you. Until then, this is still amazing to get to talk and have support from people like yourself. So I appreciate you greatly. But yeah, hopefully we'll get to be in Columbus. So that's like one of my favorite places to play. The crowds are always insane. So hopefully we get to tour Super Bloom all over the country at some point. And
Our fingers
the UK.
crossed.
And I saw Brazil. All these places down and gay rights. All the important things here.
There we go. Nice. This is a great way to close it out with all of that positivity. That's excellent. No, it's great. The people love you.
Yeah, well, I love them. It's funny. These are all my friends right here. But yeah, and you're in the head. But thank you so much. I don't want to take any more of your time. But be well, be safe.
Likewise. Good to see you. Hopefully
Awesome.
sometime soon.
Thank you. Bye.